What is up, chappos? Welcome back to career mode. Here today on F1 2019 for round number 11, I think this is. Here today for the German Grand Prix. We've had a couple of upgrades go on the car by memory. I think we've had a durability upgrade for the gearbox. That has gone on. But the tyre wear upgrade and the front downforce have both failed. So, that's exactly what you want coming into the weekend, isn't it? Perfect start. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of put a bit of a downer on things, because that's not really, I wasn't really too fussed if the tyre wear upgrade failed, but I really wanted the front downforce upgrade for this race, so that's going to put a little bit of a downer on things. But anyway, we'll make the best of a bad situation, so without further ado, let's go to practice.
Today's practice takes place in Hockenheim, home of the German Grand Prix, and it's certainly going to be a special one for some of our drivers out on the track, who will all be looking to make their home crowd proud. It seems like things should be getting started any moment now.
Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting corners and running wide? What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
Well, I'd be disappointed if we didn't, frankly. If race control want to clamp down on drivers wandering off the track, then it's up to them to police it. As a driver, you're being paid to get your car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the advantageous line, then you're not doing your job properly. Now, I agree that, we have these white lines there for a reason, and we do want to see those limits enforced, but for me, it's not a driver's responsibility to do that.
I've had a chat with Carl about the new parts, and we're happy that they've been integrated into the car okay. With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so give them a try.
Alright, welcome guys to the German Grand Prix. Nice and sunny, dry, free practice. I think it was dry for the entire weekend. I just want to clarify a few things. Number one, I have recorded quite a few career mode episodes ahead, so I've got quite a few ready to be uploaded at any point in time, basically. So I'll be taking a little bit of a break from career mode, so the next episode probably won't come out for maybe another 3-4 days, just due to certain things that I've got to sort out. But Friday practice went fairly swimmingly. We got through all of the practice programs. We end up P5 with our teammate Daniel Ricciardo in P2. So once again, Ricciardo still handing our ass to us in practice. Hopefully we can turn that around in qualifying and in the race like we did last episode. If you haven't seen that already, I would severely recommend you go check that out. That was an awesome race last time out. Great battle with Lucas Weber for nearly the entire race. I'm not going to spoil who won it in the end, but anyway, 557 resource points, so we might go and amend one of those failed upgrades, the aero upgrade first probably, if we can, if we've got enough resource points for that. Hopefully, otherwise we'll wait till after qualifying. But anyway, without further ado, let's go to qualifying for the German Grand Prix.
Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheim ring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
We don't need to push too hard in this session. We should have the pace to qualify easily.
Alright, here we are guys in qualifying for the German Grand Prix. We've gone out basically right at the start of the session to set a time on the soft compound tyres, and it puts us in basically dead last. So not a good start to qualifying at all. That really dented my confidence. So as you can see, I've decided that I was going to drive out for my final run, and there was one simple explanation for this, and that's because I noticed I actually had more tyre wear when I was letting the AI drive the car around. So I thought, let's go out and I will drive the whole out lap and just see if there was any major difference. And there was. I think we had 2% less tyre wear, and that might make all the difference. As you can see, we're green in the first sector and we're continuing to just find little bits everywhere around the circuit. We're getting a little bit of dirty air from the car in front of us, but up to the line, overtake mode on the areas. Do we get out of Q1? I think we got P14. Yes, we do. So by the skin of our teeth, we just squeak out of the first part of qualifying. P14, Daniel Ricciardo up in second place, right behind home hero Sebastian Vettel. And I just went straight to the race director, because I'm looking and I'm just going, where the hell are we losing this time? And well, as you can see, it's pretty obvious where the time loss is, but I don't know how that's possible. So 110 AI, I definitely think there needs to be some adjustments done or something, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. It's manageable to race them in the race, but in practice and qualifying, it's 110 AI is absolutely ridiculous. But that is the whole point of this career mode. We're trying to make things as hard as possible, so we drive the best that we possibly can. But anyway, we'll get back to the action. We've gone out at the end of Q2 on the only set of soft compound tyres, just seeing where we can get, and it's only P15. So once again, we got out of Q1, but we've been able to do absolutely nothing with it. So not really what I was hoping for, but we will be starting last due to a grid penalty. We've taken all new components, so that'll hamper us a little bit, but brand new engine, fresh tyres, so hopefully we can charge back through the field during the race, and maybe we can score a top 5, or that might be optimistic. Let's say maybe P7, best of the rest, assuming there's no retirements for the top guys, obviously. But anyway, we won't worry about that. We've got our work cut out from P20 on the grid, so this is going to be a tough one.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
Alright, so as you can see, full dry for the race, overcast for the majority of the race, but the sun's supposed to come out at the end. Brand new power unit, brand new gearbox, brand new everything, so without further ado, let's go to the German Grand Prix.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheim ring then, with an average lap speed in excess of 130 miles per hour. The long curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. But there are plenty of other options available around the 17 corners here today. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. They come into this race with a healthy championship lead. I don't want to say the title race is over, but surely it's going to take something special or catastrophic to change the outcome at this point.
Certainly there are worse positions to be in, but it's vital they don't let complacency creep in. As soon as you let yourself think it's over before it actually is, that's where everything can and often will go wrong.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race.
An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside.
Considering the rest of the grid, we have
Vettel, Butler, Max Verstappen,
and Faber,
Sainz, Ricciardo, Perez,
and Lando Norris,
Grosjean, Albon,
Antonio Giovinazzi,
and Stroll,
Kvyat, Russell, Robert Kubica,
and Kimi Raikkonen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Bottas and Lee. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
See if you can manage 8th place or better. Good luck.
Alright, thank you very much, boss. We will certainly try and bring home 8th place or something better if we can. But welcome, guys, to the German Grand Prix here on the grid from dead last. Certainly not where you want to be, but considering we've taken a brand new power unit, I don't think we can complain. We'll be able to shoot back through the field, hopefully, without a care in the world. Strategy today, we're just going for the one-stop, mediums to hards. It's basically always been the best strategy around this racetrack, the one-stop, if you can manage it. So, yeah, that's basically it. So, away we go for all the formation lap. Lewis Hamilton leads from Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, Devin Butler, and then I think that was Max Verstappen and Lucas Weber. Then it's Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas on the back row with us. So that's certainly interesting to see. Despite the fact that we're starting last, we're still starting alongside a Mercedes car. So it'll be interesting to see if we can maybe get ahead of him off the line. But if anything, the strategy was, if we don't get a real good launch, my idea was to actually try and maybe follow Valtteri through the field. Obviously, being in a Mercedes, you would think he would be able to claw his way through the field pretty quickly and pretty easily. But anyway, back on the grid now, awaiting 5 red lights for round 11, and away we go. Been a pretty average start. Bottas gets the better of us, and basically so does the whole field. We roar into turn 1, looking for an avenue around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. He starts on the soft tyres, oddly enough, in the Alfa Romeo. I think we made contact in turn 1 as well. We're going to go around the outside of 4 cars into turn 2. Can we get around the outside of Russell? And we do. Holy crap, 4-car overtake around the outside. Have you ever seen anything like that? I bloody well doubt it. But anyway, that has been a mega start to this German Grand Prix already. Down into the hairpin. We've got Russell trying to look back up our inside. A couple of cars side by side directly ahead of us. Lance Stroll is the next car that we're going to try and pick off. Do we potentially think about a move up the inside? Or we thought about it, but the first lap, better off not to try anything risky in any major dive bombs. We don't want to damage our car. But anyway, this has been the perfect start to the race. We've gained some positions, and yeah, all's good so far. But on to lap 2, down to turn 2 again, and once again around the outside of Lance Stroll this time. So that's 5 cars we have now dispatched off around the outside at turn 2. Let's have a replay of that. As you can see, no locking on the front tyres, and just clean around the outside of the Force India. Racing Point, I'm sorry, I will get the hang of it eventually, but did you guys catch the real German Grand Prix? Anthony Davidson or whoever it was, someone still mentioned Force India, so even the real world still can't get the hang of it. So yeah, we'll get the hang of it eventually. I got no idea when that'll be, but anyway, on to lap 3 now, on to the back straight. DRS is open. Our next target is Romain Grosjean in the Haas, kind of squeezed us a little bit. We probably should have gone to the right, but anyway, Giovinazzi, the next one in the Alpha, is Grosjean going to try and look for a move up the inside. We outbrake ourselves a little bit, but there wasn't quite enough room for the Frenchman, and we maintain P13. On to lap 4 now, down into turn 2. Are we going to try another move around the outside, this time on the Italian Antonio Giovinazzi, around the outside, clean as you like, and that is now 6 cars that we have passed around the outside in turn 2 today. It's like a hot spot for us today. We're doing all the moves in unconventional places and in not so conventional ways. I don't even know. Is that like a real phrase? Is that a thing? I don't know. But anyway, Down into the hairpin, and we've got Giovinazzi still right behind us. Next up, Lando Norris in the beautiful Husky Chocolate McLaren. That still feels weird to say, but we're potentially looking for a move up the inside. He kind of moved it over just a little bit, but anyway, no harm done there. There was nothing wrong with that. Running a little bit wide just with the dirty air. I noticed that is dirty air is a thing on this game. But anyway, get back to the action real quick. The DRS open, overtake mode in the ARS. Past Lando Norris, that's up in the P11. Next up, the Toro Rosso of Alex Albon. Down into the hairpin. Do we go for a look up? No, we're nowhere near close enough. That would have just been stupid. But anyway, as I was saying, dirty air is quite bad on 2019, as we almost, I think we might have actually touched Albon there. Check the damage indicator momentarily. Looking to the right, now looking to the left. Albon, he kind of made that a bit awkward, but we probably didn't make things any easier for ourselves, did we? But anyway, we should have DRS, and we do. DRS open, overtake mode on the DRS, and there we go. Past the Toro Rosso, up into P9. I think Lando Norris is maybe looking for an avenue up the inside. He roars up the inside of us. I think that's actually Albon trying to repass us, and it is. He went for the big boy dive into the hairpin. Nothing come of it. Cutting on to lap 7 now. And now we've got Daniel Ricciardo, and I think that's Sergio Perez maybe? Or was that Carlos Sainz? I think that might have been Sainz peeling into the pits. So you can see, cutting on to lap 10, we now lead the race. But Valtteri Bottas makes sure that changes pretty quickly as the Finn takes the lead. Down into the hairpin, there's nothing we could really fight him with there, but at this point I was honestly thinking maybe I could try and stay with Valtteri and he could maybe tow me along. And as you can see in lap 12, we've actually got so much overspeed, we're going for a move around the outside into the hairpin. Are we going to be able to pull this off around the outside of a Mercedes? And we do. How about that? So we retake the lead from the Mercedes. That is definitely not something I anticipated we'd be saying at any point in this episode. But lap 13, Valtteri with the DRS blasts straight back past us. And then Hamilton has now come to join the party. I think he was leading the race. He was the first of the two stoppers. So he has caught us up fairly quickly, which didn't come as a surprise. We run a bit while we're on the grass. Hamilton now on our outside, understeer into him a little bit. That was a really tricky, awkward kind of situation that we were both in right there. But anyway, we continue around. Bottas isn't flinching yet at the moment, so neither am I. Hamilton right behind us. Is he going to look for the move into turn 1? We just kind of cut him off there. I didn't want to go side by side in there because I had a strange feeling I'd get a warning for exceeding track limits, and I didn't want that. Then he's cutting on the lap 14 on the back straight. Hamilton goes up the inside. He goes really deep and he runs into Bottas. So the teammates have touched here at the German Grand Prix. Does Bottas, will he maybe get a puncture? Hamilton, he did clip Valtteri's right rear with his front wing. Bottas going defensive on his British teammate. We're trying to look for a move back on Hamilton. I don't know how wise that actually is, but anyway, we take every spot and position you can get, I suppose. That's the name of the game. But anyway, come through the stadium section and they're just starting to eke away a little bit. Lando Norris, next car behind us, but he's a couple of seconds down the road, so we don't have to worry about him just yet. Once again, Bottas does not flinch to go into the pits. I'm using that reference an awful lot this episode. I think that's twice in 2 laps now, isn't it? But anyway, on to lap 15. I think this is the lap that we're actually scheduled to come in. Mercedes going side by side. Hamilton still unable to get the move done. Well, on the back straight, this time with DRS available, he should blast past his Mercedes teammate. In theory, hopefully there's no team orders because we really don't want to see that, and that just ruins racing half the time. But anyway, down in the hairpin, Hamilton up the inside on his fresher tyres. Bottas still there, but I think Hamilton has, yes, now he's just got the move done. So there we go. Hamilton retakes the lead of the German Grand Prix, goes a little bit defensive just to try and cover off any potential dive from Bottas. But anyway, so far things are going fairly well. P3 obviously, as you can see, following the two Mercedes. Norris a fair way back, so I'm hoping that we can definitely get best of the rest. Maybe could we squeak a 6th or 5th place finish, but on lap 15 Bottas stays out. But we are coming in for a set of hard compound tyres. I didn't want to go another lap. I was starting to really lose grip and slide around, and I wasn't feeling confident. Anyway, into the pits now. Let's hope for a quick pit stop from the Renault boys, as always. Mediums come off, hards go on. Pretty quick stop from the boys, so pretty happy with that. Thank you very much. I'll buy you a beer afterwards. Anyway, 2 seconds flat. Pretty sweet pit stop. Alright, coming out, I should say, right alongside Daniel Ricciardo. So we rejoin right with our teammate, battling his old teammate Max Verstappen. So this will be interesting. Ricciardo and Max both on the medium, so they've got to stop again. We're going to the end now on a brand new set of hards. Ricciardo looking to the inside of Max. We're looking to the outside. Might be 3 wide here into the hairpin. We're going to go as late as we dare. Can we go around the outside? And we do. Well, what is with the outside moves we're making today? This is unreal. But getting onto the stadium section now, we've got Lucas Weber, and I'm pretty sure this is Lance Stroll. Going side by side. That was really awkward then. But Weber manages to get the upper hand. Coming on to lap 17, onto the back straight. DRS overtake mode on the ERS. And there we go, around the outside. Click the apex reasonably nicely, make the corner, don't overshoot, Bob's your uncle, and we get past the Haas driver. But as you can see, this is Lewis Hamilton. I think he's out of the race, some kind of failure, and indeed he is. He pulls off. Hamilton was cruising to what was going to be an easy victory, more than likely. But now at the halfway point of this German Grand Prix, the Mercedes driver with some kind of problem is out of the German Grand Prix, so that now promotes us up into 4th place. Valtteri Bottas just ahead of us. I'm not too sure who is further up the road. I think Charles Leclerc maybe in the Ferrari. I think he's in 2nd, so we're going to try and see if we can maybe hang on to this. P4 from last on the grid would be something else. We run a little bit wide through there. Lucas still in our tail. We haven't been able to shake him so far. He hasn't been able to fight back, but we can't exactly get rid of him, so this fight may not be over between the old teammates, so I don't know. We might be scrapping away potentially right here, right now at the end of the back straight. Lucas is reasonably close. He should have DRS. If he's got any brains, he should have overtake mode and rich fuel mixture going for him as well. He's gaining. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's not. So we maintain P4 for the time being. This is starting to there's something in the air right now. Something like the fight is building. I reckon Lucas is going to have a go at us here at some point. It's just it's a matter of when and where, because the AI they will go for the dive bomb this year. They won't just sit behind you. They will go for the move. So we've got to keep our eye open here for a potential move. Maybe in an unorthodox spot if we don't get a real good run out of a corner or something, so be interesting. But anyway, the end of lap 18 now, 15 to go. Bottas has started to drive away from us, unsurprisingly being in the Mercedes. So 19th and 20th on the grid are currently 3rd and 4th. I bet you definitely didn't expect to be saying that, but anyway. Lucas right on us, I think he's got someone right behind him as well. I can't quite tell who that is, but as you can see, moving just to maybe try and break the slipstream a little bit. He's closer this time than what he was last lap. We're running overtake mode on the ARS, but here comes the Haas driver. Is he going to look for the move? No, once again. He sits in behind us. Maybe just not quite enough overspeed? But I don't know, that's quite weird. I thought he honestly could have maybe gone for the dive there. I really thought he could have made that work, but anyway, obviously he does not think so, and sticks behind us for another couple of corners. Anyway, cutting on to lap 21, coming into sector 3, and we've got yellow flags ahead of us. I think one of the top 3 has an issue. Looks like a Ferrari on the mini-map. That is Charles Leclerc, and virtual safety car is out. Leclerc is out of the race. What has happened to the Monegasque driver? He DNF'd the real-life German Grand Prix just a couple of metres further up the road, and it looks like an engine failure in the back of that Ferrari. And as you can see, we go through, and I think someone pitted as well, so we're now P2 in this German Grand Prix. 12 laps to go, virtual safety car is ending. Devon Butler is now up into 3rd place. I think he might have been the car directly behind Lucas. Don't quote me on that obviously, because I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, on the lap 24, 10 laps to go, and Devon has set the fastest lap of the race right on us now. And as you can see, even with DRS, we're pretty even on straight line speed, so we're going to see, can we hold him off? But he's on medium tyres. This might be just a bit of a losing battle here, but we're still trying to fight up into hot lap. We're trying to hold this man off, and so far we've done it. We're still holding on to P2. Can you imagine if we actually bring this home? 19th and 20th have somehow managed to come 1st and 2nd. So from 19th has won the race, but one worry about that. Butler up the inside into turn 1, and he gets the move done. He has DRS as well for this little short shoot down into turn 2, and unfortunately I think that might be it for this battle. Perez is a little way back in 4th, so I don't think we'll have to worry about him. We got DRS, but we couldn't do anything with it unfortunately. Butler had disappeared, and we just couldn't catch him. Valtteri Bottas, fastest lap of the race on the final lap. Bottas wins from 19th on the grid. Then Butler, fastest lap of the race. But as we come around the final corner, this has been a heroic drive from last on the grid. It's going to be P3. Get in there.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know. I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table.
Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Alright, so there we have it, guys. 3rd place from last on the grid, 17 spots gained. That is unreal. I did not expect that at all. Hope you guys enjoyed, as always. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, the only DNFs of the race. Pretty reminiscent to the real-life Grand Prix, unfortunately. But as always, if you enjoyed, remember, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff to stay tuned for plenty more videos. And until the next video, the Hungarian Grand Prix, I believe. I'll catch you guys next time.